And we're back with some more Dyson Sphere Program. Today we're going to be finishing off this planet. This planet here that's located at the plan. We need to get it up and running and have it producing 1,000 rockets per minute, and that will at least be a start to getting our giant Dyson Sphere up. Where is it? Yeah, around Big Blue over here. However, we do have a problem. We need to fit in, what I want to do is try and fit in 1,000 rocket per minute production on this one planet. Unfortunately, that may not be possible. We have a lot of stuff still to go down, and we've pretty much, well, the entire center of the planet, you see, is already covered in mines. So, we're going to see how much we can squeeze in here. We may have to do the final leg of production on another planet. That would be unfortunate, but through here, we're going to try and fit in anything that's 2 in, 1 out. So we've got our electromagnets here, green circuits, blue circuits, all of those are all going to go along this row because we want to use every single square of space we possibly can. This here is our green circuit production. There is 40 per each one of these stacks, 4, 8, 12. That's 160 assemblers for those. And that's only the beginning. Honestly, the blue circuits, I think, are 400 and something assemblers. They're gonna, yeah, we're gonna run out of planet, aren't we? As I was putting this together, I decided I think I'm going to take a different approach with these ones this time. The reason being, well, it's all well and good to be chucking these together and doing them from a list. I think the smart plan here is to actually do all the ones that fit together at the same time. Instead of going through all of these one at a time and just picking them out randomly, I've decided I'm going to sort them, which would have been the smart plan to do. And we're going to do them by 1 in, 1 out, 2 in, 1 out. I was doing this and I'm like, wait, I just did green circuits and now I'm kind of slightly redoing it to do blue. So why don't we just do all of these at the same time? Even if we don't actually have some of the resources for them to work, it won't make a difference. We'll fill those in later. It's just, it'll be much more convenient for us if we start it this way. We are taking up so much space on this planet with production. There's no way. We're never going to squeeze it all in. Well, I don't want to say we'll never, but I just don't see how we can. We've already, like, look at that. That is just insane. And as the closer we get to the top of the planet, the smaller and more compact the spaces become. I've just delineated them with these power poles. Yeah, this is going to be tricky. All right, next up is I'm doing solar sails. So what I have is I have a blank blueprint for 1 in, 2 out. That's 20 rows long and 4 wide. So we just squeeze that in there as tight as we can. And then once this is built, we can then do a little bit of customization. We're going to make this 34 long, so we're just going to copy 14, the 14 from the end and just paste them on to the end of this. Just give me 1 minute while we fill this up. There we have 20 assemblers set up for 2 in, 1 out. We don't have anything actually picked to go into this just yet, though we have stuck in the logistics drones. Then all we do is we grab the blueprint tool and we're just going to take, was it 14 off the end? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Now let me do a little bit of a tidy up here and make sure we grab the edge pieces. After very carefully copying 14 of them, we'll just paste those on at the end. Awkward. Damn it, we could... no, it's fine. There we go. Let me just connect that up and we'll have ourselves our entire solar sail setup done. With the whole array drifting off into the horizon, we'll do a quick paste job and we'll just, boom, copy this all the way across. I'll have to do a little bit of wiggling up and down the line, and there we go. That's an awful lot of solar sails. Then we just have to put the resources in at the top. And remember, it's 2 in, 1 out, so this should be fairly straightforward. What are you looking at here? Graphene and Grant. Actually, what's the ratios? Actually, a 1-to-1 of either, so it doesn't really matter where they go. So we'll grab that, and we'll throw in the solar sails at the bottom. And just make sure they're all remote storage. We don't want any of these going off planet. They're all for local supply. Actually, this one's going to be local demand, and this one's going to be local demand, though there's none on site at the moment. Then we just hook these up down here, and boom, another one off the list. That's assuming, though, that we haven't messed anything up. We can't really test it until we get the rest of the production done. Also, we have a little block of space here. I'm going to have to figure out what I'm going to squeeze in there. Hopefully something small and inoffensive. All right, 1 minute. Let's see what's next on the list. Because I couldn't stand to see these machines not actually activating, I went over here and put in some prisms as well to go with them. So we've got photon combiners and the prisms all done now. And the planet is looking more and more and more full. Over here we're going to stick down the electromagnetic turbines. Now we haven't actually done the motors necessary to build these, so they'll have to wait. But it's just these are a 2 in, 1 out product, and the motors themselves, which we're going to build later, they're a 3 in, 1 out product. I just want to stick to everything that's on the same page. It'll make things so much simpler. Oh, damn it, wrong one. One little valuable trick I picked up along the way is don't put power poles on the outside. It just makes it a little bit easier to blueprint this. We can put in the power poles once this whole thing is finished. We can stretch down a big row of them really quick. Oh, and load it up with ships. Alright, we'll have electromagnetic turbines, or well, the production facility done, not the sub-production facilities. They'll probably go on the opposite side of the planet. I should really actually... I should really see about that. I should put some more local facilities here to make sure everything doesn't have to travel too far. Otherwise, we're going to end up with traffic jams like that. This here is our titanium crystal setup, and this one's going to be a bit... well, it's going to be a bit different from the normal ones. The reason being it requires organic crystal, and there's none of that in the system. So unlike all of the other things around here, this one's going to require warpers. I mean, our mines or our smelters require warpers, but nothing else should. Everything else should be coming in locally except for organic crystal and water. They're the only two things that are not present locally in the system, which means this one has to be a remote demand request. And because you've got warpers here, those ships can pop off and go grab some. You can see them there leaving now. So they'll be back with the organic crystal, and it should be fast enough. The warp speed and how quickly close they get to the planet should mean that should be no problems at all. And how is our planet looking after all of this labour so far? Yeah. This planet is just going to be a solid mass of machinery by the time we're finished. Assuming we can finish, the game is getting so slow. Doing anything takes so long. The construction was actually, I'll demonstrate here with the next module. We're going to turn this sucker into plane filters, but let's just get it nice and close. There we go. And this is the speed we are now running at. Yeah. The drones just... well, it's not that the drones can't keep up, it's just we're down to like 16 frames per second. Things are getting slow. The computer's definitely making funny noises. Okay, let me skip this time skip forward in time drastically, because this is going to take a little bit of time. This is plane filter, so I think each row of this is going to be 60 something long. I have to double check my numbers. This thing's going to be rather massive. The plane filters here are just... okay, let me try and give you the tour. This row here is plane filters all the way down to there. Then we start the second row of plane filters, which goes all the way down to there. The only thing on that entire band of the planet that's not plane filters is these two last ones here. Actually, wait, is it? Oh, wait, yep. So this processor facility and that is not. Those plane filters almost take up an entire stretch of the planet. They go from here all the way around to about there. That's kind of crazy. Next up, though, is an even more stupidly gigantic-sized problem, and that is the graphene. Yeah, this is a problem. Even though we're using fire ice, this one here is 90. It's 90 of them all combined. So it's a row of 30, 3 rows, so it's 90. We now need to print down another 9 of them. So that there, we need to make another 9 of those, and we don't have a lot of planet left at the top, or the bottom, or whatever sides they're on. I think this is the top. Yeah, this is north. Right, so we're just going to have to see what we can squeeze in, I suppose. This is definitely looking like we're not going to manage, but I have hope, a little bit. We have a lot of chemical plants making graphene now, about 780 of them. Problem is, some of them I need to fix. You can see the little red connection arrows there. This happens when you start building around the top of the planet. Some of those are I have to delete that and replace it, otherwise it won't work. We'll just... actually, you know what? I'll show you it now. And we just put in a new one, and that will be the end of it. We'll just switch it to hydrogen. Done. But I'm going to have to go around and do that to about another... well, judging by the red markers, about 50 or 60 of them. But that's fine. We can do that on the side. Unfortunately, I'm out of time. It's just... this is... wait, just let me show you what the planet looks like now. This is the top of the planet. Look at that beauty. See, let's turn on the sun. Dear Lord. Looks a bit like a virus, actually. People were pointing that out with all the little things sticking out of it. But the entire top of the planet is almost solid. We got a little bit of free space right there, and there's a little patch of free space right there. But barring that, it's just machines everywhere. The only free space left is on the other pole. So the South Pole is the only place we've got left to build on, and I think it's official. There's no way we can fit this all on one planet. Even cramming this in this tightly, not a chance. The problem is we need to fit on another 800 chemical plants. Bear in mind, this is only 780 of them, so we need about another, almost, yeah, a little bit over double this. That's to make the carbon nanotubes. So, yeah, and that's going to take up even more space than these ones because the recipe, never mind. Let's just say the entire top of the planet is already, yep, that would pretty much fill the top of the entire planet. However, we also have another 602 assembly machines that have to go in there based on just a few motors, the Dyson Sphere assembly machine stuff, a whole bunch of other things, and another 330 odd machines that are going to be involved, or particle colliders that are going to be involved in making deuterium. In other words, yep, there's no way. You cannot fit 1,000 rockets per minute on one planet. Or maybe you can, but it would have to be a lot more customized than this. All right, I'm going to cut this out to here, but I'm going to do a bunch of work on the side, and I think for the next episode we should be able to finish this off and start launching the rockets. Though I have to figure out how I'm going to launch 1,000 rockets per minute. That's going to need a lot of rockets, fellows. Alright, I think a better way to end this would be show, this is our average sorter production for the last 10 hours. We have, on average, been producing 41.67 sorters per minute. That's how many we've been using. So every minute, we've been laying down on average 41 sorters. That's a lot of sorters. Like conveyor belt, I'm not so sure about. I think it's just I've made a massive stockpile so that it won't run out. And I think it's constantly feeding into that and the stockpile is too big. But I think sorter Mark IIIs is a good estimate of exactly how much production we're doing. 41 of them a minute. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed and good luck.